Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the 119th episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. 'Tis I, Colton Robertson, and we got a special episode for you today. I am joined by Aurora Carter. What's up?
Hey, nice to talk about this. Like, I'm ready to get into it.
I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready. What's up, KBZ, Kyler Barnett? Good to have you back, buddy, after such a long break.
I know, it's been a little bit of a hiatus, but back from vacation, back from technical difficulties against all the odds. So
we out here. Let's talk Black Widow, and then after Black Widow, we'll talk some Emmy nominations. First things first, I'm going to give general thoughts on the movie. For me, middle tier Marvel movie, very enjoyable. I greatly enjoyed watching it. There were parts that were a little bit just a little boring, but more often than not, I was entertained. The action sequences were satisfying. And you know, I love seeing them take down a big fucking misogynist. So that's dope. Also, anyone here, if you have not seen Black Widow, get the fuck out of here. This is going to be full of spoilers. That's just warning you now.
I feel like I can't decide if we're kind of fucked up for this, man. Like, this movie just came out like last week. Like, are we giving the people enough time?
That's the thing, though. You know, like if you want to put this in your back pocket, you go and see Black Widow.
Here's the thing. What's probably the worst is, like, I feel like this is a movie where the most people would probably just listen and be like, I don't care if I get spoiled, because it's not a phase 4 implicator, really. So, like, it's probably one of those ones where, like, people are just gonna be like, yeah, if it's spoiled, it's spoiled.
Yeah, it's a real in-betweener.
Which is fucked up. Don't get me wrong.
No,
you're a bad person for that. But if you want to listen, we're not. If you're gonna listen, we're not gonna turn you away.
Yeah, if you're gonna listen. You're gonna hear spoilers for the Black Widow, and then you're gonna hear some Emmy nominations. Aurora, overall, how'd you feel about this film, Black Widow?
6 out of 10 for, like,
6 out of 10. We got
the
rating.
movie, and for Yelena, I would say 10 out of 10.
Yelena rocks. Florence Pugh dominated that role. And like we said a little bit in the Patreon, David Harbour and Florence Pugh, for my money, really just carry this. And Rachel Weisz, all of them just fantastic. Kyler, what about you? How you feeling about the movie?
I'm going to be much kinder to it, because generally speaking, I feel like middle tier Marvel movie for me, like, and I feel like the general consensus should be like that middle ground. Like, when you're talking benchmark, when you set the average, where are we, like, what is the average? I think Ant-Man probably fits that best, or is close to that, at least in terms of how I view it. I see this as better than that, so I'm going to go like higher tier, middle class. But what I think I love about it is I came into this knowing, like, okay, no phase 4 anything. We're not getting anything cool, like, in that regard. So just go in and enjoy the movie for what you know it's going to be. And it's going to be, like, for me, the way you view, like, Winter Soldier almost, like the movie, in terms of the action. I guess there's a little more suspense there. But I think when you go into it like, this is going to be intense action stuff, I'm like, hey, let's go for that. And then what else helped me is I think I'm watching Clone Wars, which is kind of like, we're getting a lot of filler for stuff the movies don't touch on. Yeah. Well, this is a time with Natasha that with any of the other characters really hasn't been touched on. What was the gap between Civil War and Infinity War for a lot of characters? Not much. So, like, this side tangent story that we get, I'm so much enjoying in Clone Wars, like, me getting a movie like that to me just was like, I'm in a great place, like ripe for the viewing of that, I guess. And I liked it. I thought the action was great. I think Aurora hit it on the head. Florence Pugh, great in all regards. Great looking character. She's funny. The action was awesome.
You're such a poser.
Yeah, in the action, like, and her accent was great. She can touch them all the bases. I think she's a great actor, a lot of chops. And then David Harbour, so fun to see him in a dad role, but so contrary to Stranger Things. Actually, I'm not going to say that. He's a lot gentler, but at the same time, he wasn't a great dad in Stranger Things a lot of times.
No, yeah, like he's still certainly figuring
so
it out.
I'm going to backtrack, but like, reasons. But I think that I love seeing more Dad Hopper. That's just all I can say when it's Harbour on the screen. I just see Hopper, and I love it.
My favorite thing about David Harbour's Alexei is that he's got Karl Marx tatted on his knuckles. That was just outstanding. The fact that this dude is just through and through a communist, just like, what we need is strength in the party, you know, like, fuck it all. Like, I just loved it. But, I'm with you, Kyler. While I say middle tier Marvel movie, middle tier Marvel movies are astoundingly.
We talk about this all the time. About this all the time, and a lot of times still this branches into Star Wars, where it's like, okay, great, this movie may not be the best one, but that still makes it a damn good movie to watch.
Certainly, and what I do love about this movie and these types of Marvel movies is there's like two sides of Marvel. You know, we've got the Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon and Winter Soldier Marvel, and we've got the Doctor Strange, WandaVision, Loki type Marvel.
Yeah, these ones are down to earth, much more down to earth feeling, much more. I'm gonna say in the realm of possibility, but I mean, let's be real here. There was a building fucking floating in the clouds, so I mean, let's not go too hasty, but
too realistic, but more realistic than
Hey, who knows? Maybe we do have buildings floating in the sky. We don't fucking know it. I'm not gonna doubt it.
I mean, Dreykov was staying above the radar. Aurora, what were you about to say a second ago?
Oh, based on what Kyler was saying, I was just saying it seemed grounded, like more grounded than what we've been getting so far. So yeah.
Oh, certainly. Like, and getting that balance, the back and forth. We got WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow. Like, they're really making sure they know how to balance this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like Kyler was saying, this gap between Civil War and Infinity War, it is a very interesting time to explore, and one that I would also like touched on a little bit with Wanda and Vision. For the record, I would like to see them kind of laying low, being fine for a little bit. That'd be nice.
I wish, man. I wish.
I just want to see them happy for a couple of years.
Wishful thinking, though.
Just chilling, but
our window of opportunity is set sail in that regard.
It's closing. But you know, the end of this movie, we get Natasha saying she's going to go break her friends out of prison, and I think that would have been a golden, like that's another golden story that we could tell through like a series potentially. Black Widow breaking out, Falcon, Hawkeye, Wanda, and Ant-Man, and maybe like there's also the story that like Ant-Man could be like, you know, like, nah, I'm gonna stay. I don't need to risk being a fugitive for my daughter. I'm just gonna get my parole and do my house arrest. You know, I don't know. I think it'd be a really fun storyline to follow. But what was one of your like standout moments of the movie? You want me to go first? I can.
You go first. Let me shape this in my mind.
Mine easily was Alexei's breakout of prison. Yelena and Natasha coming in with the helicopter. Yelena causing an avalanche. Natasha having to come in and swing and pick up Alexei. Like, it was just a great sequence, followed by his reunion with the girls and like being like, I am so proud of you. You come and save me. This means so much. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Fuck you. You suck. It's hilarious. And I appreciate a character who, like Alexei, is there for a lot of comedic relief, like a ton of comedic relief. mostly comedic relief, but he has that heart to him. That's just like, there's enough of you in there that you know they care a little, you know? And I think the thing that really that stuck out for me there is the tattoo on Alexi's arm that has Natasha and Yelena's names on it in Russian. I think that's a pretty important detail. You can go undercover and not get a tattoo of your daughter's names, you know? Like, nobody's going to press you for like,
well,
if you don't have a tattoo of your daughter's names, you're not actually their father. You're an undercover Russian sleeper agent.
Right, and what like I think means more is like that comes in prison. So obviously after the fact, he's thought about this. You know what I mean? Like he's still years and years after while he's in prison. Like that still meant something to him.
Well, and that's what's funny too is that at the end of this movie, when he's trying to make his, you know, the bearing of his soul, trying to apologize to Natasha, and it turns out to be, you know, Melina the whole time in Natasha's face. And he's like, "You're kidding. I was talking to you the whole time." Like, I know he meant that. Like, he meant every word he was saying, because he kept trying to say it, and he just couldn't figure out a way, because then he didn't have the earpiece. I cannot hear you that well, but for me, best parts of this movie, Yelena and Alexei. And they are the two most comedic parts of this movie too. Maybe that has a great deal of importance to me. But let's talk about the Taskmaster. There's been a little bit of controversy surrounding the straying away from the comic book image of Taskmaster. I don't give a fuck.
I'm so sick. We have this conversation. Colt and I still recall this from like the first day we ever had a conversation about Iron Man 3. If they change something from the comics that is unique to the story, how many times in other comic lines do you see them stray away from the tradition? Do these authors get, you know, as much of a bad rap for it and get judged as hard? Because no, if it's in comic form but they did something different, it's encouraged and interesting. But in the movies, it's like it's expected to be cookie cutter by the comic books, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I think when elements can be added to the story that are unique and interesting and make that story the director's own, the same way a comic book author would, I think that should be encouraged. I think that should be what to me, it makes Marvel more unique. It makes it to where you don't know what's coming. And to me, that should be a good thing.
I'm with you 100%, because like when this twist happened, I got like a small spoiler going into this movie. Like, not spoiler, but like I saw a bunch of, like stuff on Twitter about Taskmaster, about how like, they wish they would have stuck with the comic book vision, how, quote, Taskmaster is the worst MCU villain to date. Bullshit. After seeing it, I was like, what the fuck was I like? What did people think I was? What the fuck? This is a good villain. And considering the story paints her as not actually a villain, like she was literally being controlled, or her every aspect. And you just know that has something to do with it. The her aspect of it, the woman being the taskmaster. You know, a lot of fuckboys are pissed about that.
You see it with Rey. You see it with all these characters all the time. It's what's all new. Leia,
Captain Marvel, Rey. Yeah. It just happens over and over again. The fanboys can't seem to get past.
Here's what I'll say:
women can be powerful.
I don't understand how, knowing how important the daughter was in this, in Natasha's backstory, in her, you know, supposed destruction of the Red Room previously. I don't understand how you could think that finding out that the daughter's still alive and that being even more of like a two-headed snake at the top with the dad and daughter combination, and with her under his control. I mean, you take away the human element from someone who, your own daughter, like that shows how crooked and evil the dad is. And then also, like, to me, the Taskmaster, she fought the same way. She fought exactly as Taskmaster should, and it was badass. Yeah. I don't understand how you could judge that. Her actions
the only thing I have to complain about the Taskmaster is that we didn't get more of Taskmaster.
I agree. I hate the part that she gets locked in. That's, I think, my biggest detractor from the movie, is she getting locked in for this like final fight for the whole time, being locked into the room. Yeah. And then by the time she's released, she doesn't fight. She's pretty much subdued pretty quickly after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, I appreciate specificities of the ending of this movie, like with Yelena being the one that frees all the other Black Widows she was indoctrinated with, and then Natasha being the one who frees Antonia. Like, that makes a lot of sense. Kyler, I gotta ask, how would you have felt if Natasha had just straight up killed Dreykov?
I mean, there's a part of me that would have liked to see it. I just think he's one of the most
bad.
like, I'll say, I think with these grounded movies, your villains have no choice but to me more grounded in like their means, as in like what they're doing is going to feel much more personal because it's not interdimensional people, aliens. These are people with faces that you could see walking down the street every day, if you're following what I'm saying. So like,
this dude is just
when
a dude
he
who
is
hates
manipulating and doing things like what he's doing in the Red Room to real life people, that hits a little closer and makes it seem much more like, wow, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So definitely it makes me want to see him die. But I do think
was another thing that made me go, hold the fuck up. Whenever I saw people go, Taskmaster is the worst MCU villain to date.
I don't see how you could
Taskmaster's not even the fucking villain of this movie.
Right. To me, it's almost like Ghost in a way in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Where it's like, yes, she's technically the villain, but I'd say by the end of that movie, you don't come away saying like, oh, well, I guess she really wasn't a villain. Like, you can understand the reason she's behaving the way she is. But
I need Ghost to be more involved in the future of the MCU, by the way.
I'm sorry, you just said the name and I'm blanking. What's the main guy's, what?
Oh, wait, what?
The main guy's name, the main villain. I'm so bad with the names. Yeah, Dreykov. Like, dude, that's so different from Ghost. Like, there is, like, that's his, like, intentions and what he's doing is so much different. Like, this is a villain that you can comfortably hate, like, really fucking can't stand, like, from, like, I'd love to see that guy fall off of a building from the sky. Like, yeah, I'd be down. Like,
in an objective standpoint, this dude is
awful,
scum.
The worst.
Like, if any, I said this in the Patreon, if any part of you resonates with this man, then you fucking suck. Like, you're the worst. Aurora, how'd you feel? What was like a standout part for you in this movie? I remember I asked that question and I completely strayed away.
Also, kind of like what you said about how he broke out Alexia, like that. But also a big standout part to me was all of the multiple scenes of Yelena and Natasha, kind of like their sisterhood. That's like,
yeah, that was good.
That like it seems so. What I'm looking for a word.
It was very natural. It was just
natural. It was just like, especially when she was like, like, do you have a plan or should I stay duck and cover? Like, she just like teasing her, like, it was so good. It was so natural. And that's like the scene I keep playing. But also one scene that stood out was, I kind of felt like when the Black Widows was going to die, I felt like the nanites kind of like cut off. Like that scene when the Black Widow was like, when Natasha had grabbed her and she let herself go and kind of just fell. I was kind of like, did she scream because like, just because, or like she was still like in a little trance, or did she scream because she realized it had cut off and she was dying? Like, it's just like that. That scene really bothered me. That was like I didn't know. Yeah.
I don't know either. I'm really not sure. There were multiple scenes with Yelena in this though that I absolutely loved. Like another one that's not so funny is at the dinner table when the family reunites for the first time. I got to tell you, not a part in a Marvel movie I hated more than when Melina suffocates this fucking pig. I was like, yo, fuck this. I hate this.
It was painful, dude. It was like, yo,
I was like, are you going to save that fucking pig or are you just going to, like, I was right there with Natasha who was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I was like seriously bothered by that scene. But then like later on in the scene, whenever Natasha's like, we're not a family, our time together was fake, it meant nothing, and Yelena was like, don't say that. Whenever she like really broke down and bore her feelings to them. Like, I cared about you guys. You were my mom. You were my dad. You were definitely my sister. Like, I fucking loved you guys. It was the best part of my life. And I like that part really, and that opening sequence, really, really awesome. With them in Ohio, as soon as that first like 10, 15 minutes was passed and they came forward from the flashback, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm in. This is dope. I think David Harbour hanging on the airplane wing, firing a machine gun. That's tough as fuck. Are you kidding me?
And then S.H.I.E.L.D., that was what was cool for me. It was like, whoa.
They were getting chased by S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
No, so I think the thing that stands out between both of your comments is like, Colton, you kind of mentioned how there's points in this movie where it slows down a lot, where there's stretches where it's just kind of like, just non-action, non-important, like advancing the plot really. But I think what I love about those moments in this movie and what you guys have obviously gripped with as well is the human element. Is like we've talked about how grounded this movie felt. Well, I think what helps and elevates it in that sense is that in those slower moments, there's a lot of human and emotional connection and like moments that really grip you to these characters in a way that a lot of other movies, these mid-tier Marvel movies, kind of fail to. Like in Ant-Man, there's not a ton of moments you're really gripping with T.I.'s character. Like, yeah, man, I connected emotionally. I was
gonna make that parallel too. Yeah,
but in this movie, those moments where you're not exactly advancing the plot, there's these really big human moments where it's like, wow, that felt really real. Like you can remember a moment in your family dinner table where a moment kind of felt that way, maybe like not exactly in those parameters, hopefully, but in a sense, like emotionally, we've all had those tough family moments or we've all had those really gripping moments and stuff. Like, I think it just makes it easy to connect and really nice that these characters, they acted their asses off in those moments. David Harbour displayed a lot of really funnily, in a sense funny because he's like really heavily Russian, like, and him as Hopper, but also in the sense that like what he's saying was very emotional and, like moments that just grip you with that character, or the same with Yelena, especially like the human elements are really stand out in this movie. And I think the actors do a great job of that. I think they deserve a lot of credit.
I'm with you because like, I mean, and I think that's even the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, not the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Like you walk away from that movie and you know Sharon Carter.
But there's not that.
You don't love Sharon Carter though. Like I walk away from this movie and I love Alexei, I love Melina, I love Yelena. Like I want more of these characters real fucking bad. And that's because of those honest character moments. You don't get a lot of action with Alexei. Alexei has one fighting scene and it's very brief against the Taskmaster and he gets his ass handed to him. Like
as he should.
As he should. I mean, Melina, great character too.
I think as for my like favorite moment, like my like the one that really got me like action wise, I gotta say I love the moment when that whole breaking in at the Red Room first where they have Natasha's got Melina's face on and vice versa. That whole situation, and then when you flash back and see how it all broke down, that's a super huge moment for Melina's character as well, because up to that point, you really kind of fucking hate her. You really kind of hate her. And then like when you're seeing what's happening, but then you see the flashback and what actually was transpiring, it's like, yo.
Well, what was so fascinating, I remember thinking like, as I was watching that scene unfold where like Yelena is alone with Alexei in that bedroom and he's just sitting with her trying to tell her the dad story, like, well, fathers. He go paddy on my hands. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But also in that same moment, Melina and Natasha are having a real honest heart to heart, where Melina ends up being honest and like, I am very sorry. Like, I already told the Red Room you're here. Like, we got to figure something out and quick. Mm-hmm. And like in the couple minutes later where they broke in and stuff and Melina Natasha dressed as Melina shocks Yelena. I'd completely forgot about that moment and I was like, fuck Melina, what the fuck is she on? I completely forgot about the moment where she was like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yep. I think Alexi's breakout was great, and that for sure be tops on my list. But you said that I wanted to say something different, so that one hits. And then I really did like the action sequences, like some of the earlier ones when it was just Natasha, even like that first Taskmaster encounter. That was really
cool.
crazy.
Really
that was
nowhere.
really fun to watch because it was so just abrupt, and like you're sitting here thinking, oh well, we still got a while because like we haven't really seen or been introduced to any reason why Natasha would be in trouble with the Red Room at this point in time. So it's just one of those things where you're like, you don't really assume anything, and then bam, Taskmaster. And the fact that she escapes after not even knowing how he was going to fight, what the Taskmaster was, and how, you know.
And I'm with you. I really wish that we just, I wanted more Taskmaster in this movie, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, the action was just lacking with Taskmaster. I think honestly, I think if Taskmaster would have had more action, I bet you a lot of the haters would probably just not shut their mouth.
Would have ignored it.
What's unfortunate is that now this poor actress is probably going to get a lot of hate for her character just because they didn't get enough action, which has nothing to do with her or her character at all.
I'm praying that we get more of this character in a, like, I'm thinking this might be our new Winter Soldier here, in terms of like redeeming themselves.
Oh, I'm so upset you said that, because I remember something on Twitter when someone says, oh, this Taskmaster is like a cheap Winter Soldier. And I'm like, not really. I mean, I could see why people said that, but like, it made a lot of sense. And also, what Kyler was saying, like way before, if you think this is the worst MCU villain, she was as much as a victim, just like Bucky, like literally
Exactly.
the same. It's like they kind of like, it's like
they can hardly be held responsible for their actions. Like
they all have a get out of jail free card. Like they both have like, they were both getting being controlled by this person. This person telling them to do this. Like it's kind of like the same thing. And one thing I kind of wanted to ask: do you guys think it made sense for men to kind of guard the Red Room? Because aren't women in their eyes supposed to be the best fighters? I didn't understand why it would be men outside. I mean,
I think it was supposed to be kind of like a. I think it's just even furthering the misogyny of Dreykov. Like he's like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Sure, I'll deploy Black Widow spies that are completely under my control, but the people who are guarding the Red Room, I don't trust anyone more there than a man. Like it's like I got to think that that's the line of thought there for Dreykov, is that he's just a misogynist. So if there's people who are directly guarding him, it's probably going to be men, but he'll have the Black Widows deployed to. I think another thing that he uses in women is how much easier it is to trust a woman than it is a man in general.
Yeah.
On the whole, like
I think he just probably has always thought, as long as I get a hold of them young enough, they're going to have some sort of, whether it's just or not, they're going to have some sort of attachment or feel some sort of something to me because I'm going to manipulate it as so. Yeah. I mean, I think that's just him. And then when he found out that he could literally chemically do it, oh, well, that's simple.
Yeah, he's like not just manipulating their mental, like literally programming them so that if they smell him, they can't.
And also, it's probably a thing where he thinks that they're less suspecting. Like, women are probably widely, like, you look at a woman, you might not think as much a spy in his eyes. He's probably thinking, oh yeah, it's probably better to have these fucking psycho assassin women who are, quick, agile, fucking, super fucking insanely athletic. It's like,
yeah,
they're so fucking quick, bro. It stands out so much to me. Like,
oh yeah, like their fighting style is badass. I also think that, the bottom line is that he's just preying on women because he thinks they're weak. Like that's just, he's preying on women because he thinks they're weak and making them strong. Like that's what he thinks he's doing. And he's just the worst. Just one of the worst, most dislikable villains we've ever gotten. Characters, period.
To go back to Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's like if Sonny. What was that guy's name? Sonny. Sonny.
I don't even remember, but yeah.
But more like that amplified and multiplied to the 1,000th degree.
Absolute because there was even that there was one line where I was like, oh, they're going all in here with just fuck this guy. We know you'll hate him with the the fucking, and I'm using the one resource the world has too much of, girls. And I was like, what the fuck? This is just
it just seemed like a dark Family Guy joke that kept continuing with him. Literally.
That's a great way to describe it.
He's so one dimensional. It's just like I hate women, and that's the top. That's my thing. I'm gonna run with that forever.
My friend in the movie theater said, "I feel like he's overcompensating for something." I said, literally.
Yeah. Literally. It feels like that guy had other stuff going on.
I said, wow. But what I was going to say. Also, when I was seeing people kind of mad, they said, "Oh, we get a Black Widow movie, and he putting sexism in it," and I'm like,
"That's real stories that need to be told." That's
yeah.
They're not making that shit up. They're not making that shit up. I mean, obviously,
you look at the treatment of Natasha's character in fucking Iron Man 2. Holy shit. She existed to be sexualized. That's what that
her whole uniform was to, even her costume was made to kind of define her cleavage area.
Yeah.
Come on. And then also
Tony Stark even says that line where he's like, "I want one."
Yes.
Damn. That's disgusting. What a terrible line from the greatest hero in our universe, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
And then seeing Scarlett Johansson, seeing so many compilation videos of her getting sexist questions in interviews and stuff. And I'm just like, well,
this isn't new though. You've seen this in her scenes in the courtrooms in, what was it? Winter Soldier, I believe. She had to go to appear in front of the Senate or some kind of commission or some bullshit.
I think it would have been. I think it
was the end of Winter Soldier. I know she had one at the end of Winter Soldier, or maybe.
Well, because they were in. Wasn't it in response to them being in violation of the Sokovia Accords?
That could have been one of those two. I thought she had to appear after she released all the Hydra files, but she also released all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files and everything. I thought she had to as well. I just think you can tell by the way she's talked. She's not talked to, she's talked at. It's plain and simple. This has been something you've seen in her appearances throughout. Look at what Tony Stark said about her in Iron Man 2. I mean, it's not hard to see. It's plain and out there. It's not.
I mean, even in Civil War, when T'Challa is saying how he would love, one of his people to fight Black Widow, as entertaining that would see. And I'm just like,
oh yeah, when he's like, it was what was the name of the character who came up in the Falcon and Winter Soldier? Because I think that's who it was.
Yes. Oh, it was her. Yeah. She said, "Move or you will be moved." And then,
I would love to see that. I remember that, or I would pay to see that. I think he said, or something.
Something like that. As entertaining as that would be,
or maybe that was right. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a hell of a fight.
And then come on, it's also Russia girls. It's realistic, and also this movie has a lot of realism how Russia treats women, the struggle that women go through, and then also even Russian spies living in secret. That's real. That's realism.
That really happened. Yeah. The reason there was a Red Scare is because the family dynamic you see here of Russian spies who were just acting American. You very well could have lived next door to a family like that, and you just would have never known, because they're good at their fucking job, and that's wild to think about. That's as a potentiality. I don't have much more to say about this movie, honestly. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best Marvel movie.
Yeah,
we have one thing to talk about. We haven't touched it.
The post-credit scene.
Gotta talk about it.
The post-credit scene, of course. Yeah, me and Aurora touched on it a little bit on Patreon. We do got to talk about it, though. So, Kyler, let's get your thoughts specifically, since me and Aurora have talked about it more.
I think it's perfect. It flows exactly correctly. I mean, I think this movie feels like it definitely, like, it's nice now that we're seeing right after her appearance, Val, we see her in her appearance in Captain America and Winter Soldier show. So it's like, okay, it's all coming together now. Like we are tracking what she's trying to get under her belt. She wants these like badass assassins kind of running like a bounty type system. That's what she wants. Right? And that's her arc in the comics, correct? Am I wrong? I'm not brushed up greatly.
She'd be setting up the high level hits.
Yeah, so I think that's what she's doing, and I think, man, after you almost think that Hawkeye, his brief stint as Ronin, you think that those actions were kind of going to go unjudged and unchecked. And I don't know. It looks like we're going to finally see some attempted resolution there. So I think that's where Hawkeye's going, right? Gotta be.
I gotta hope so, because I'm really hoping they acknowledge the fact that he murdered a whole bunch of people without any consequence.
And then obviously Val. I love her character.
Fantastic.
Whenever I used to feel kind of sick or something on a school night, I'd always get to like kind of stay out and sit on the couch at night because I don't got to go to school the next day, so I could just kind of feel like whatever on the couch. And whenever my dad would fall asleep, a lot of times Seinfeld is what would be on TV. So
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes, so I've grown up. I've seen tons of Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Elaine and stuff. So like seeing her playing this kind of character is like awesome for me, and I think she kills it. And that's the thing, is like I want to see more. Like we've gotten little bits and pieces, but like I can't wait till she gets put into the fold. I can't wait until
she gets her screen time.
Yes, I am here for all of the Julia Louis-Dreyfus flowers. Bring them to her, all of it. I love it. And then also, I think it's going to be nice for Yelena, because like look at what. She just got that sisterhood back. Like, you know that this is taking place close to Infinity War. We're getting close to that time, like whenever Yelena and her part ways. So it's just one of those things where you know that was the last time she saw her. Now it's like, what's she done now? It's like she just made this reconnection that obviously meant a lot to her. Now it's taken away. It's kind of like we just saw what Wanda got driven to. This isn't even close to the same scale, but obviously, like, revenge for some of these characters is going to be a theme, and I think I'm here for it.
I appreciate that Yelena is the one who's getting this revenge arc against Hawkeye, sort of, you know, the quote, the man responsible for Natasha's death. But you know who almost certainly would want some sort of revenge is Alexei.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. I know for a fact that man would be coming for blood.
Man, Alexei and Yelena versus Hawkeye and what is his
Kate
daughter?
Bishop.
Yes, Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop, man.
Well, me and Aurora were talking about this, and I think what more we're looking at is the setting up of the new age Hawkeye Black Widow best friend thing with Kate Bishop and Yelena potentially sparking a kinship that you know,
that'd be
Clint
awesome.
and Natasha shared. I think that would make a lot of sense too.
I feel like Hawkeye probably still comes away not too hot in this for some reason. I get a feeling.
No, yeah, I
think he's gonna be gone somehow. Oh, what if Yelena got the Taskmaster to run with her to go get?
That'd be dope. That'd be really dope. Here's the thing, though. I want somehow for Clint Barton to be out by the end of the Hawkeye series.
I don't know if Marvel really wants him in the fold for much longer, probably, than they have.
Well, here's the thing: is that there's just not much interest around him.
No,
like, the reason
there never really has been. There never really has been, and they want to watch it for Kate Bishop because obviously we have no idea what's coming, and obviously the Young Avengers have to start kind of probably coming into play somehow, some way.
Yeah, I mean, and absolutely. I'm hoping we leave this series with we have a new Hawkeye. That's Kate Bishop is officially our Hawkeye. Clint can go retire somewhere, live with his family for the third time.
The The third time.
I mean, dude's been
that.
like, I'm coming out of retirement like 6 times. It's
the third time. The third time, dude.
It's like bro could have just stayed retired and none of this would, like, Natasha would be alive. I'll tell you that.
Was there something else I wanted to say?
I'll never forgive Clint because Pietro and Natasha died for him.
Ooh.
That's just a rough look.
So that brings Black Widow and Scarlet Witch closer together.
In theory.
If they ain't done it yet, they ain't doing it.
Well, guys, you got any last thoughts on the Black Widow movie?
Nah, man. I like I said, I just think also the fact I haven't seen a Marvel movie in this setting, like in theaters, new Marvel movie in so long. It's just, regardless of what it was, just being back in the theater and being able to see it, incredible. You gotta just felt right again, you know.
It was perfect. I so excited to get a new Marvel movie, and I didn't even realize how truly excited I was until like the days before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I started thinking, I'm like, I mean, I was excited. I was always going to watch this movie, but like in the days before, I was like highly anticipating Black Widow. Like I was ready for this movie, and it's just because I'm always going to be ready for whatever Marvel has to throw at me. I saw a tweet, pissed me the fuck off, that said, you know, now that WandaVision, the Falcon Winter Soldier are over, Loki has the last episode this week, and Black Widow is finally out. I know I have nothing to look forward to. And I'm like, yo, what? We have 6 Marvel projects left alone in 2021.
Movies, I think 2, right? Or 3? Yeah.
Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel.
And then also...
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
And then, okay, Guardians 3 is not filmed yet, right? But
No, it's not yet.
So then what comes next in 2022 towards the beginning? If
Doctor Strange,
Multiverse. That's what I was going to say. Okay.
Thor, Love and Thunder will come in 2022.
That's the one I'm thinking. Okay, Guardians got to be in that a little bit, right? Or no?
I'm thinking that's probably end 2022, early 2023.
No, but think about where Thor's arc is at the end of Endgame. Guardians at least in the beginning.
Guardians are confirmed to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guardians appearance at least in Thor: Love and Thunder, because we still have chubby Thor to deal with as well.
Oh yeah, we got bro Thor to deal with.
Bro Thor.
Wait, do we? Because I saw that Chris Hemsworth said this is like the bulkiest you will ever see.
No, well, yeah. So I'm sure by the end of I'm sure probably that doesn't last 30 minutes into the movie, but.
If that, I'm thinking we'll start the movie with just Chris Hemsworth being Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, yeah, I know. I just didn't know if when he's with the Guardians, if that would have been done or not yet. So I wasn't sure.
I think they got like a bunch of shit for their treatment.
I agree.
So they're just going to kind of put it behind them and try not to acknowledge it. But the reason Chris Hemsworth is as jacked as he's ever been is because he's about to play the role of Hulk Hogan. In a biopic.
Makes sense.
About Hulk Hogan.
That's awesome.
That's why he's getting absolutely jacked, because he's playing Hulkster, you know, brother. Yeah, he's but yeah, a lot to anticipate in Marvel, and Black Widow, a fine addition to the MCU that we've
at
come
least
to know.
You can finish that whole chapter now with Black Widow being out. You can finish it.
I think
Saga is
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. It's like now we can say it's phase 4 and on from here. Like these are implicators. We're gonna get. I'd say Shang-Chi post-credit scene is gonna be something heavy hitting, in my opinion, probably.
Bro, and that's 1 month away.
And what I think Shang-Chi is probably gonna have something in it that's also probably pretty implicate.
Well, we've already seen that we're going to get Abomination versus what's Doctor Strange's right hand man?
Mordo.
Who?
Oh, Wong.
Yeah. We get Abomination versus Wong at some point in this movie for no reason.
I want to know when Mordo's going to show
in Shang-Chi in Shang-Chi.
In Shang-Chi.
You didn't see in the trailer that, Abomination. Hey, how does that work? Did you guys get to see the trailer for Shang-Chi when you rented it at home, Colton?
No.
Damn, so no trailers? That sucks. That was one of the things I liked. Was
I'm gonna go back, I think, in a few weeks and catch a movie theater showing of Black Widow just because I miss being at the movie theater. And, you know, I love the movie theater, so I'll go back any chance I get. But I really would have liked to see the Shang-Chi trailer on the big screen. That would have been nice. But yeah, fuck guys. You guys want to move on to Emmy nominations? Any last thoughts on Black Widow, or are we good?
That's kind of, yeah, that's really it. That's a wrap for, Natasha Romanoff. May she rest in peace.
May she rest in peace, and maybe not. You never know.
You never know.
We don't know what the fuck going on with the Soul Stone. But let's talk some Emmys, and obviously, I want to focus on the shit that we've talked about so extensively week by week for almost a year now, 10 months. We've got The Mandalorian, WandaVision, and The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I was going to ask you, did Harley Quinn doesn't count for this year's, right?
DC's Harley Quinn, I think it would have. I think it actually should have.
That's tough, because I know you love that show, and I watched an episode the other day.
I don't expect it to get any animated.
I don't know. I didn't know if – I didn't know. I loved that show. I didn't know if maybe anything could come of it, any in the – maybe writing or anything.
I loved that show. But no, I don't think they got any Emmy nods. But The Mandalorian let it all.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
24 nominations for The Mandalorian, which is fucking awesome.
I just love I think what's great is like with Mandalorian, I don't know if a show has ever dominated at least in the social media era that I've grown up in, I guess. I've never seen a TV series dominate such pop culture in a way. I've just never seen it. It's crazy. It's like I've just watched The Sopranos, and I wish I could go back to when that was actually on TV because I can't even imagine what that was like from what I understand. Twitter talks about it.
That was like a phenomenon.
Yeah, I just think like this show dominates pop culture, so it's obvious that they do stuff right, and I think when you watch it, that's evident. So obviously raking it in every facet, it deserves it. Effects, writing, sound, audio.
I'm gonna go with these. I'm gonna list them for you. So Carl Weathers got an outstanding guest actor for episode 12, The Siege, where they take out that Imperial base, which Carl Weathers, more than deserving of the outstanding guest actor nod. Outstanding drama series, Mandalorian. Outstanding sound editing.
Yeah, I was going to say
that was for chapter 13 when Ahsoka is in the show. A lot of Ahsoka episodes.
And that's a great one because you get lightsaber, like real lightsabers in that, and then you get Beskar interacting with it. You get the blasters. You get all of the goods there. So
that episode was the most popular for sure amongst this Emmy.
I think the shots in that episode, Colton. I remember when we talked about it in the episode about just how incredible the film, just the actual just filming of it was. Everything, every shot looked incredible there. I think because that one there was so much smoke and fog and interaction and that stuff that well, the one thing that I remember us really harping on that I am so glad got nominated was the production design, like the set, beautiful. Yeah.
That set was gorgeous. That little like garden area where Ahsoka and the Magistrate fought, just gorgeous.
Mandalorian and Loki with the sets have been ridiculous. Ooh. Ridiculous.
Outstanding sound mixing. That's also for the Jedi. Outstanding casting. Outstanding special visual effects in a season. Outstanding cinematography for a single camera series. And that was for the Jedi. Outstanding stunt coordination, outstanding directing for a drama series. That's for Chapter 9, the season premiere of Season 2. Outstanding stunt performance in the last episode, the finale. Outstanding single camera picture editing, which is Chapter 11, The Heiress. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. Outstanding writing for the Jedi. Outstanding single camera picture editing, again the Jedi. Outstanding writing, the finale. Outstanding single camera picture editing, chapter 15, like it's just a load of awards here. Outstanding cinematography, single camera picture editing again.
Any score?
Outstanding. I'm looking real quick. Outstanding costumes again. The Jedi. Let's see. Any score here? We got makeup. Oh, outstanding music composition for a series.
I was gonna say Hans Bjorsen has been so deep in his bag for this show.
Yeah, Ludwig Göransson.
Sorry. You
got Hans Zimmer and Ludwig Göransson all rolled up into one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was for the finale. Outstanding supporting actor in a drama series, Giancarlo Esposito got a nod for Moff Gideon. Outstanding guest actor, Timothy Olyphant got a nod for Cobb Vanth. And hell yeah, that's that for this for the Mandalorian. A lot of Emmy nods there. A lot of Emmy nods. And WandaVision got one less, 23.
Catherine Hahn better have a good one. I gotta hope.
She got nommed for Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series.
Did WandaVision get any drama series, best drama?
They got limited series. They decided they wouldn't be judged with the drama category, but with the limited series category. So they did get outstanding limited series.
Okay.
They also got outstanding casting, outstanding writing, outstanding directing, multiple writings for multiple episodes, multiple single camera picture editing, like a lot of the same awards as Mandalorian, really. They're nominated for a bunch of the same stuff. Outstanding lead actor in a limited or anthology series, Paul Bettany as Vision. Outstanding period or character hairstyling. Outstanding music supervision. Outstanding main title design. Outstanding fantasy sci-fi costumes. And that's for the very first episode. Outstanding makeup. Outstanding music composition. Outstanding original music and lyrics for Agatha All Along. Outstanding original main title theme music. Outstanding lead actress for Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Outstanding supporting actress for Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness. And it just goes on and on. Visual effects, design, production design, set. Like, it's just several for them. If there's any show that for me got a little fucked over here, it was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
One guest actor nod, and it was to Don Cheadle, who was even confused himself about the nominee.
I saw this on Twitter today.
Here's my thing. The fact that Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan don't get any nomination, crazy. On top of that, the fact that Don Cheadle would get best guest actor from this series when Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley is right there, crazy to me. And then the fact that, I loved Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness, and, comparison is the death of joy. If she's there for supporting actress in a drama series, I think Erin Kellyman is too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even fucking Wyatt Russell as John Walker, he killed his performance too, supporting actor there. Like, there were just so many great performances that I feel like should have been acknowledged. And I mean, good for Don Cheadle, and I love Don Cheadle, but kind of a strange nod for The Falcon and Winter Soldier. For my money, the biggest one the biggest disappointment for me is that Don Cheadle is nominated when Carl Lumbly is right there. Isaiah Bradley dominated his role. That was perfect. However, Don Cheadle got that nod. They got the nod for outstanding sound editing for the finale. They got outstanding special visual effects, outstanding stunt coordination, outstanding stunt performance for the fight between John Walker, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. And those were their 5 nominees. There were some other pretty big ones, but none that we dove into too much. Another really cool fun factoid about the Emmys this year is MJ Rodriguez is nominated for outstanding lead actress in a role, and she will be the first trans person to be nominated for that in a leading role, which is awesome. Super cool. Pose is phenomenal. Can't recommend it enough. Ted Lasso got nominated for a fuck ton of stuff. The Crown got nominated for a fuck ton of stuff. Lot of good television here, and I'm hoping everything gets rightfully recognized.
A fantastic year for television, as I would say. Yeah.
Oh, stupendous, one might say.
I can't believe it. I have never watched television this way. I used to be like movies pretty much guy. Like I'd watch movies when I go to sleep, or I'd watch Sports Center, or I'd watch something like that.
I'm with you.
I have fallen asleep watching like Clone Wars, Sopranos, / stayed up till 2 to watch WandaVision, all of this.
So much more fun.
Since Mandalorian, I have been consistently consuming television. And that's awesome. Like, yes, I guess I would binge watch The Office or whatever, but never scheduled appointment television. Not till now. And it's awesome.
Outstanding. And I think back to that era, the WandaVision era. Fuck. What a time. I loved when WandaVision was released.
That was an amazing era.
Shit. The Falcon and Winter Soldier doesn't have as defined an era to it for me. I loved watching it, but I know Loki will. I'll remember this shit too.
Of course.
I remember all of these things like in the sex in which we've talked about them, you know? Like I've got the Bad Batch and Loki era, the Falcon and Winter Soldier era, the WandaVision era, and the Mandalorian era, and I'm just ready for everything that's coming, you know?
And what I wanted to say was I really felt like this year really pushed, you know, it kind of brought TV shows like fictional ones into like the main, like it was always mainstream, but a lot of war shows don't feel like focused on the big superhero CGI stuff. And with WandaVision kind of like coming in with all this intensity and mysteriousness, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though that's this whole thing by itself, but then Loki, even though that's going to be maybe, I believe that's next year, right? Loki is 2022.
Loki would be nominated for 2022.
Yes, and to have that and also have Pose come in like the first, you know, big, you know, the biggest cast of POC trans women ever. And it's all like all of this is in this 1 year. This is like an astounding, like it's just, I just can't believe like this is the way it is. It's so diverse.
Like, I know, and I think what's awesome is like you're gonna see more and more people fall into the fold of like Marvel / Star Wars fans. Like I think that's what's great is like this community is gonna grow bigger, and hopefully that brings in, you know, less of the people that, you know, like in Star Wars, less of those fans, or at least makes them a little more diluted. The fans that are, you know, sending messages about Rose's character or, you know, trashing because a woman is one of the key heroes or the main key hero in the, you know, sequel trilogy. It's just those are the fans that hopefully, you know, as this stuff grows more and more popular and grows more and more mainstream, and here's the thing with Marvel, I feel like it's easy to fall out of being a fan because it's like before it was you waited months before and months in between for content. You'd wait 4 months for a movie. Never again. You will have stuff filling gaps always. That's what's incredible. Things that are rewatchable. How often do you sit down in a week and rewatch a Marvel movie? If it's me, a lot of weeks, never, maybe once every week or two. I don't go that long, but sometimes, you know. But with TV shows, it's different. You can a lot of times either be watching one, or how easy would it be like right now? I haven't seen WandaVision in what feels like a year. I could probably rewatch that show and very enjoyably, and especially catch things I never saw.
Absolutely. Like I actually just did that like a few days ago. Like I was like, you know what? Let's watch WandaVision for a little bit. I fucking loved this show. And if there's any show that like the first few episodes at least couldn't be more casual viewing, you know, like the first two anyway. Like obviously you have those tense moments, but it's like this is overall fun Marvel television with characters I really love. And that's the bottom line, and that's what we're going to continue to get. And I'm excited for this What If series coming up from Marvel. One thing I didn't realize, Kyler, is that What If is happening on its own. There's nothing happening concurrently with it. So we might actually be able to talk about What If week to week, or we might actually take that opportunity to do the Star Wars live commentaries we've been discussing.
I think that might be what I want.
I think it might be as well. But yeah, I just wanted to get those Emmy nominations in there for the last little bit there. And Aurora, you got anything else about this last year in television?
just how impactful, especially for like my whole career thing, Colton. But then also seeing how that fictional projects are being like taken seriously with like Emmys and stuff, and it's going to, and then also being from like the trans community and seeing Pose like get taken seriously, like to have like MJ Rodriguez, who's Afro Latina, getting nominated for this. This is like so. It's just like a rush, like of like positivity.
It's a moment
in it, and
it's a moment.
Like wow.
I'm absolutely happy with where television is at, and I can't wait to see where we're headed in the future, in the coming years. But fuck yeah. Black Widow and the Emmy nominations, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. This was the Penny Bloom podcast, 119th episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Aurora Carter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me again.
Of course, and I'll talk to you here in a couple days about the Loki series finale. And do we want to? It's Tuesday. The Loki finale is tomorrow. Want to get any last second predictions in here for last on the record pod predictions for Loki's finale here?
Val is leading. She's in the castle. Val's in the castle. I'm with you there. Book it.
Aurora, any final thoughts on Loki before we get into the finale?
Any final thoughts on Loki? I want to know if we're going to keep if is Tom Hiddleston going to stay, or is Sylvie is going to stay. Like, this is going to be a thing where like she disappears and she goes into Loki, or she's going to be the new Loki. Like, I'm really worried about what we're going to go with these characters, because I love Sylvie and Loki. I love
Sylvie, and I can't stand the idea of losing that character, or Sophia DiMartino as that character anytime soon. I need them in my life, and I need Tom Hiddleston in my life. Frankly, Tom Hiddleston is a lovely man. I love him. But yeah, again, this was the Penny Bloom podcast. I was Colton Robertson, joined by Aurora Carter and Kyler Barnett. Thank you very much, homie. Absolutely. Remember, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you will find a nice short little introduction on the front of this episode. I think it's going to be like 30 minutes. We had a separate conversation, me and Kyler, and then another conversation, me and Aurora, and then we brought it all together here for the main episode. But you'll enjoy the content there. Some more Black Widow discussion. Kyler giving us an update on his weekend, baseball and such.
It got cut short. It was a shame.
Yeah, it was a damn shame. It was a damn shame.
You want to know what's funny? I finished the story thinking you were still with me. I talked for like 10 minutes. Nothing. There's no.
Oh no! I heard your entire
I heard
story.
the ending of his.
No, I heard your entire story. Like, I got to the end.
Wait,
and it's recorded.
Like the end, the end where I said the end.
Like, you're talking about like you.
Did you hear about what happened when I got home?
I think so.
All right, then maybe you did. I don't know. I kept asking you if you could hear me, but you couldn't.
Oh, I could hear you.
All right, well then maybe. All right, well congrats. I guess you guys got
it. Follow on Twitter at Penny Bloom Pod, on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast, and remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves.